Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great conquered one of the largest empires the ancient world had ever seen. Before reaching the age of 33, he had defeated the mighty Persian Empire, marched thousands of miles across Asia, and won battle after battle without ever losing a major war. His soldiers believed he was almost impossible to defeat. Every victory made his legend grow even larger. But after years of constant campaigning, Alexander suddenly became seriously ill while in the city of Babylon. He developed a high fever that grew worse with each passing day. Soon, the man who had conquered kingdoms could no longer stand, speak, or lead his army. After nearly 2 weeks of suffering, Alexander the Great died in 323 BC at just 32 years old. To this day, historians still debate the exact cause of his death. Some believe it was malaria or typhoid fever. Others think he may have been poisoned. The truth has never been proven, making his death one of history's greatest mysteries. Leonidas I. Leonidas I was the fearless king of Sparta, remembered as one of history's greatest warriors. In 480 BC, he led only 300 Spartan soldiers against the massive Persian army at the Battle of Thermopylae. For days, Leonidas and his men held their ground, fighting with incredible discipline and courage. Despite being vastly outnumbered, they inflicted heavy losses on the Persian forces and inspired all of Greece to continue resisting the invasion. But everything changed when a local man betrayed the Greeks by revealing a secret mountain path to the Persians. Realizing they were surrounded, Leonidas ordered most of the Greek army to retreat while he and his remaining warriors stayed behind to make one final stand. They fought until their weapons were broken, refusing to surrender. Leonidas was killed in battle, but his sacrifice became one of the greatest examples of courage and loyalty in military history. More than 2,500 years later, his last stand is still remembered around the world. Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan built the largest contiguous empire in history. Beginning as the son of a tribal chief, he united the Mongol tribes and created an army known for its speed, discipline, and ruthless tactics. His forces swept across Asia and into Europe, defeating powerful kingdoms that many believe could never fall. Under his leadership, the Mongol Empire expanded farther than any empire before it. But despite surviving countless military campaigns, Genghis Khan's final days remain one of history's greatest mysteries. He died in 1227 during a campaign against the Western Xia Kingdom. The exact cause of his death has never been confirmed. Some historians believe he died from injuries after falling from a horse. Others suggest he died from illness after weeks of fighting. Legends even claim he was assassinated, though there is no solid evidence to prove it. To this day, no one knows exactly how the great conqueror died. Even the location of his tomb remains one of history's biggest unsolved mysteries. Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar was one of Rome's greatest military commanders. He conquered vast territories, including Gaul, won countless battles, and transformed Rome into the most powerful republic of its time. His victories made him incredibly popular with the people, but they also made many powerful senators fear that he wanted to become king. On March 15, 44 BC, a day now known as the Ides of March, Caesar entered a meeting of the Roman Senate, unaware that a conspiracy had already been planned against him. As the meeting began, dozens of senators surrounded him. They pulled out hidden daggers and attacked. Caesar was stabbed multiple times and collapsed at the foot of a statue inside the Senate. His assassination shocked Rome and triggered a series of civil wars that eventually ended the Roman Republic and led to the rise of the Roman Empire. Miyamoto Musashi. Miyamoto Musashi is remembered as Japan's greatest swordsman. During his lifetime, he fought more than 60 duels and is widely believed to have never lost a single one. His unmatched skill, discipline, and unique fighting style made him a legend across Japan. Musashi often arrived late to duels on purpose, throwing his opponents off balance before the fight even began. Unlike many famous warriors, Musashi did not die on a battlefield. As he grew older, he withdrew from public life and spent his final years in a cave, where he wrote the Book of Five Rings, a work on strategy, discipline, and the art of combat. In 1645, after suffering from illness, Miyamoto Musashi died peacefully at around the age of 61. Even in his final moments, he remained a symbol of patience, wisdom, and the warrior spirit that continues to inspire people around the world. Hannibal Barca. Hannibal Barca was one of the greatest military commanders the world has ever known. As the leader of Carthage, He achieved what many believed was impossible by leading his army, including dozens of war elephants, across the snow-covered Alps to invade Italy. The daring journey shocked the Roman Republic. Over the next several years, Hannibal defeated Roman armies in battle after battle, with his greatest victory coming at the Battle of Cannae, where he destroyed a much larger Roman force using brilliant tactics that are still studied by military leaders today. Despite his victories, Hannibal could not completely defeat Rome. Years later, after Carthage lost the war, he was forced into exile and spent the rest of his life fleeing from Rome's allies. In 183 BC, when enemy forces closed in and capture seemed certain, Hannibal chose to take poison rather than be taken prisoner. His death marked the end of one of history's greatest military minds, but his strategies continue to influence generals even today. Richard the Lionheart. Richard the Lionheart was one of medieval Europe's most famous warrior kings. As King of England, he earned a reputation for his bravery and leadership during the Third Crusade, where he fought some of the most powerful armies of his time. His courage on the battlefield made him a legend. Even his greatest rivals respected his military skill, and his name became a symbol of fearless leadership. But Richard's life did not end in a great battle. In 1199, while leading the siege of a small castle in France, he was struck in the shoulder by a crossbow bolt fired from the castle walls. At first, the wound did not seem fatal. However, the injury became infected. Despite receiving treatment, the infection spread, and Richard died a few days later at the age of 41. One of history's greatest warrior kings was not defeated by a mighty army, but by a single arrow and the infection that followed. Spartacus. Spartacus began his life as a soldier, but after being captured by the Romans, he was forced to become a gladiator. Instead of accepting his fate, he led one of the largest slave revolts in Roman history. In 73 BC, Spartacus and a small group of gladiators escaped from a training school and quickly gathered thousands of followers. Together, they defeated several Roman armies, proving that even the mighty Roman Republic could be challenged. For nearly 2 years, Spartacus fought for freedom, winning battle after battle against forces that greatly outnumbered his own. But in 71 BC, the Romans finally surrounded his army. Spartacus charged into the fighting, determined to reach the Roman commander. He fought fiercely until he was killed in battle. His body was never positively identified, but his rebellion became a lasting symbol of courage, resistance, and the fight for freedom. Centuries later, the name Spartacus is still remembered around the world. Attila the Hun. Attila the Hun was one of the most feared warriors in history. As ruler of the Huns, he led devastating campaigns across Europe, forcing powerful empires to pay tribute and leaving entire cities in ruins. His reputation was so terrifying that many believed no army could stop him. Even the Roman Empire struggled to defend itself against his fast-moving and relentless forces. But Attila's death came in a surprisingly unexpected way. In 453 AD, after celebrating his marriage to a young bride, Attila was found dead the following morning in his tent. Ancient accounts suggest he suffered a severe nosebleed during the night and, while asleep, choked on his own blood. Other historians believe an underlying medical condition may have been responsible, but no one knows for certain. The man who had survived countless battles and terrified empires did not die on the battlefield. His mysterious death remains one of history's most debated events. Saladin. Saladin was one of the most respected military leaders of the medieval world. As the Sultan of Egypt and Syria, he united Muslim forces and defeated the Crusaders at the Battle of Hattin in 1187, paving the way for the recapture of Jerusalem. Even his enemies admired him. He became known not only for his skill in battle, but also for his generosity, mercy, and honor. His reputation earned the respect of both the Islamic world and many European chroniclers. Unlike many legendary warriors, Saladin did not die in combat. In 1193, after years of military campaigns and leadership, he fell seriously ill in Damascus. After several days of sickness, he died at the age of 55. Despite ruling a vast empire, Saladin left behind very little personal wealth. Much of his fortune had been given to the poor and to charitable causes. His legacy endures not just because of the battles he won, but because of the character he displayed throughout his life. History has shown us that even the greatest warriors were not invincible. They conquered kingdoms, inspired millions, and changed the course of civilization, but in the end, every one of them faced death. Their lives remind us that true greatness is not measured by how long someone lives, but by the legacy they leave behind. Which of these warriors surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more fascinating history stories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.